Hey, what's up, you guys? We got some new items on the Teespring store just in time for the holiday season. As you know, we got Black Friday coming. So, if you like what you see here with the new long sleeves and hoodies, all you got to do is go and check out the link in the description and use the code CYPHER20 to save $5 off the already affordable cool items on this shop. Let's get into the video, shall we? Hey, what's up, you guys? It's GEORGIO, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and I am back with another wrestling review for you guys, and this for WWE Survivor Series 2019. And actually, this is not going to be a review, this is going to be a reaction. And the reason I had decided to, do it this way is because I had wanted to show you screenshots of some of the cool action that went down at this pay-per-view. Man, it was a weekend full of all kinds of wrestling and everything, and it can be hard to kind of process all of this content that's being out right now. So you guys just bear with me on that. And I love the little wallpaper that they did. Now I actually added my own little flair to this to the Survivor Series promo art. So as you can see, I got my own little special background mixed in with there, and it got the new Beyond Wrestling logo right there. So you know what? As you guys know on this channel, we're going to talk about the main event first, which actually surprised me because it was the women's triple threat match that was the main event of the show. And somebody on my page, they had tweeted something about AJ Lee, so I don't know why people thought that CM Punk or even AJ Lee was gonna appear at this show. Maybe some people were probably thinking maybe CM Punk, because we hear the CM Punk chants because Survivor Series was in Chicago. But as Punk said on his when he was on the Herd on Fox Sports, he said that he works directly with Fox, not WWE. So I had to get that out the way. But as for this main event, which was the women's triple threat match featuring Becky Lynch, who is the Raw women's champion, versus the NXT women's champion, which is Shayna Baszler, and versus Bayley, who is the SmackDown women's champion. Now, if you want my thoughts, I thought that Bayley was going to win this particular matchup. I really did. I thought she was going to win. I don't know why. I guess because SmackDown was losing quite a bit on the show. Shayna Baszler, she won, which is the one in the middle right there. And she looked pretty dominant in this match. This whole pay-per-view, they showcase just how great the NXT talent is. And everyone talks about when such and such is going to come up to the main roster. In my honest opinion, I would rather the NXT stars stay where they at, because they're so heavily booked greatly over there, and I would hate for them to come up to the main roster, and we've seen what happens there, but I love what NXT did on this whole pay-per-view, and I love what I saw from Shayna Baszler over the weekend, and including this matchup right here. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you this, you guys, I don't know if this is just on my end, but it seemed like the crowd was not as into this match. Like, they was coming alive in certain parts. So I don't know what it is. I think it just seemed like the crowd was focusing on other things. Like, you could tell they probably was ready to go home, because this pay-per-view started at 6 o'clock. It ended at 9, so you would say that 6, 7, 8, that's almost 4 hours of wrestling, and on top of the NXT pay-per-view that we got last night. So that was a lot of wrestling. So it just seemed like the crowd was a little bit, they was kind of a little dying a bit here. You know what? Rightfully so, because there was so much that went on beforehand with the Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio match, the Fiend versus Bryan. You had Adam Cole versus versus Pete Dunne. You had the Raw, tag team Survivor Series matches and stuff. But the right person in my opinion won, which was Shayna Baszler, because I feel like she could really benefit from this. This really makes her a tough, legitimate female wrestler, and this whole card featured a lot of some of the greatest women wrestlers in the game today. And of course, at the end, Becky Lynch, she got her revenge, and she had did this leg drop on Shayna Baszler through the thing. Now, I don't know, for me, I was expecting something crazy to happen, at the end. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why, but that was just my opinion. But overall, the match was okay. It wasn't the greatest match on the card, but it just felt like it was missing some spark to it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Speaking of spark, let's talk about that Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio match while you guys are here, because I don't want you all to be waiting all the way to the end of the review for that. And so, look right here. Look at Brock Lesnar. He just looks like he doesn't want to be there in that particular photo. But you know what, you guys? I did not expect Brock Lesnar to lose this matchup. I didn't think. What I meant to say was I didn't think he was going to lose this match. There's just no way. And of course, this match was a no DQ or no holds barred. And honestly, that was the only chance that Rey Mysterio had in this match. Now, a lot of us, a couple of my friends, my friend Falcon Arrow and my pal Effect, we was all talking on Twitter about the outcomes and who we thought was gonna probably interfere. Now, at first we thought Cain Velasquez was gonna interfere, but I was like, what'd be really interesting is if Rey Mysterio's son had interfered, and he did. Now, here's what some of us was thinking. We was thinking maybe Rey's son would turn on him and help Brock Lesnar beat him, but obviously that didn't happen in this particular matchup. So, man, I'm telling you, dude, that was some crazy stuff. Even with Rey Mysterio's son help, Brock Lesnar still was able to get the win. And like I said, man, there's no way. Honestly, I'm be real with you guys. Like, there's no way Rey Mysterio can beat Brock Lesnar. I'm sorry, there's just no way. Especially at this point of Rey's career, Brock Lesnar still shows how dominant he is. And you know what? The only person I think who can really beat Brock Lesnar is probably the Fiend. That's the only one I can see as a legitimate threat. You know what I'm saying? But as for what I thought of this match right here overall, I thought it was really good. They did the best they could considering who was in there. And I liked, like I said, we saw Rey's son. He came in there, he threw in the towel and everything, as you can see right here. And this is the part where I thought that he was going to turn on his father, Rey Mysterio, but of course that didn't happen. And so, we even saw some athleticism from Dominic. We saw him do the 619 with his dad in the frog splash, so I know that was a really cool moment for them. And I think that was a really good way, for them to do that. And of course, Brock wins the belt. Now, I think this is what I think going forward. I think we're gonna see Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez at WrestleMania. Now, it could happen at the Royal Rumble, but if I'm WWE, I would do that match at WrestleMania. That way you can get the most money out of it, and I think it will work out better that way. Just thinking, from a promoter standpoint or a point of view. So I do think we're gonna see them two face each other again. I don't know what's gonna happen next with Rey Mysterio. I do think we might see Rey Mysterio's son versus Brock Lesnar next. I can see that happening. And you know what? Here's what I think. I think we're gonna see Dominic versus Brock Lesnar for that WWE title at Royal Rumble. either that or TLC, but I don't know. I would do that at Royal Rumble, and then you could have Cain Velasquez come out there to stop Brock Lesnar from brutalizing Dominic even more, which would then set up that match for them to face at Mania. So that's my thoughts on that particular thing. And of course, you know, we had that women's Survivor Series tag team match at the beginning of the card, and it was really good. I thought that was a really good showing, and it also showed you just how great Rhea Ripley is right here, the lady that you see on the screen. It shows you just how great of a talent she truly is, and you know, we really got to see her and the NXT women pull together and get that amazing victory. And if you guys haven't, you know, definitely watch what they did. You know, Rhea Ripley and some of the NXT women did at the NXT Takeover War Games pay-per-view. I think you all will really enjoy that. And I'm really glad that NXT got the W here. You know, it was really cool, man. I'm a big fan of Rhea Ripley, and I hope she goes far and eventually wins that NXT Women's title. Also, I wanted to talk about the fact that Rey Mysterio had his outfit, which was dedicated to the Joker. It looked like it was a Joker themed costume that Rey Mysterio wore tonight. So that was really dope. And then, you guys, I had to talk about the killer matchup that Adam Cole had with Pete Dunne. You know, the guy right there that's holding the third guy right there, Adam Cole. I mean, you guys know who Adam Cole is. But anyways, that was such a really cool matchup that we saw with Adam Cole and Pete Dunne. And it's amazing that Adam Cole wrestled tonight, considering the fact that he had a ladder match on Wednesday. He had the NXT TakeOver War Games matchup last night. The dude is a ghost, literally. And there is this little meme going around about Adam Cole being a ghost because he supposedly died on one of the episodes of Being the Elites. So I really enjoyed that matchup, Adam Cole versus Pete Dunne. Definitely go back and watch that one. It was really fun. And also, speaking of the Undisputed Era, they had another SmackDown. They had another tag team champions type NXT, Survivor Series matchup on the pre-show featuring the New Day, the Viking Raiders, and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish from the Undisputed Era. Really great matchup in which we saw the Undisputed Era win that one. And we also had Roderick Strong, who is the NXT North American champion. He faced off against AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. And they even had this new Intercontinental title, which I'm going to show to you all right here. Now, I really love the design of this Intercontinental title. It's one of WWE's best looking men's title, and it's funny how it looks better than the Universal title. So that's just crazy, you know. I cannot wait for that belt to become available so I can get me one of those. Like, that is actually a belt that I will purchase a replica of. You know, very nicely done by WWE, you know. So then, of course, like I was saying, we had AJ Styles versus Roderick Strong versus Shinsuke Nakamura, in which we saw Roderick Strong win the match. I was so surprised by that. The NXT talent were booked so strong on this pay-per-view card, and I don't think anyone saw that coming. We all probably thought that maybe some of the Raw and SmackDown people were going to trade victories on this show, but I'm really happy that Roderick Strong got that big-time victory for him. Really great talent. Roderick Strong, if you're talking about best wrestlers in the world right now, you have to include him in there. You have to include Adam Cole in that conversation. In fact, I would say that Adam Cole is probably the wrestler of the year with the crazy week that he's had. But nonetheless, the Undisputed Era is full of great talent, and it really showcased, here tonight for sure. And of course, they had the, like I said, they had the women's tag team matchup. And of course they had the men's Survivor Series tag team matchup, which had Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. And it was crazy because, you know, Roman Reigns and Keith Lee was the last two standing. And it was, and you know what, Roman Reigns, he cost Baron Corbin the victory, and which, you know, Tommaso Ciampa had pinned him. And we saw a lot of people turning on each other in that particular matchup, you know. Man, you know, I actually thought it was a pretty decent matchup. I really truly did, you know. We saw Walter and Braun Strowman, you know, they came face to face. And then of course Walter and Drew McIntyre, in which, you know, Walter ended up getting a Claymore kick to the skull for his transgressions, which allowed him to be eliminated by Drew McIntyre. And you know, I really did enjoy that. That was a pretty good matchup. I can't go over every single move because then we'll be here for an hour, and I know a lot of you do not want to do that. So without further ado, let's talk about the match that I feel like is very cool and important, which is Bray Wyatt, which aka the Fiend, versus Daniel Bryan. And I tell you guys, this matchup right here was actually kind of similar to the matches that we saw with the Fiend and Seth Rollins. It had the red lightning and the ring lightning, I mean. And we actually saw, you know, the Fiend take some really good damage in this matchup from Daniel Bryan. We saw Daniel Bryan was actually booked pretty strong in this particular matchup. We saw some weakness from the Fiend's character. You know, we saw the yes kicks multiple times. We saw Daniel Bryan, he pretty much did as much offense as he could. We saw him throw his little flying knee, which he got the Fiend with the first time around. But you know, of course the second time it didn't work because he was caught in the mandible claw by the Fiend, which that was ended up getting the 1-2-3 for the Fiend Bray Wyatt. So and then, you know, we also saw the tremendous power that Bray Wyatt has. Like, the dude is in tremendous shape, I will say that. You know, he's in probably one of the best shapes of his entire career. And I do think that, you know, Bray Wyatt is doing some of his best work right now with this character. Obviously, you know, you don't want him to lose right now. I would say you don't have the Fiend lose until probably late next year. You know, have him be dominant all the way up till then, you know. And you know, I really like the matchup. It wasn't like, you know, match of the night or anything like that, but it was definitely, you know, pretty decent for what they had to work with, you know. And obviously they didn't have like a whole lot of time to work with in this particular matchup because there was so much going on in this particular pay-per-view. Now whether or not we see these two face each other again, that will remain to be seen. As of right now, I don't know who else they could put against the Fiend. Maybe Roman Reigns. I can see that happen. I know a lot of people don't want that, but oh yeah, they got Braun Strowman. I think Braun Strowman is on SmackDown. So hey, Braun Strowman and the Fiend will be a pretty good matchup too. Now I wouldn't mind seeing that. So you know, and it's funny, as you can see in this thumbnail that they used on Twitter. I think this came from Fox, WWE on Fox Twitter account, or the WWE one, whichever one, it doesn't matter. But they used the red version of the Universal title, and I thought you would think that they would have the blue one. You know, honestly, I think, you know how they had redid the Intercontinental title? I feel like they should have redid the Universal title first. You know, I feel like that belt needs a completely new design. You know, them using the same design as the WWE title is just, you know, it's just uncreative. It's just generic, you know. But that's just my opinion on that. You know, I feel like that title could definitely be a lot more gorgeous looking. You know, they done spent all that money on the Intercontinental title. I know they can do that for the Universal, but nonetheless, you know, I thought that, you know, this was a pretty decent matchup, you know. And with that being said, we're done talking about this show. I'm tired because I had to, all this wrestling. It can, while it's a good thing, it can be very daunting. It can be very tiring on the person, the human wrestling fan, But it was a really great weekend of wrestling by WWE. They did a great job. NXT killed it. We got Monday Night Raw tomorrow, which is 3 hours. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through that one. I might fall asleep during it because all of this wrestling galore. But I would love to know, what was your favorite match from Survivor Series? What do you think about who won? And what do you think about who lost? I will catch you in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. This is Giorgio, your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. I will catch you next time. Peace.